Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hidden Brick, where today we're going to do part one of the build of the LEGO Technic Heavy Lift Helicopter. This is set number 42052, 1042 pieces. So about a average large size LEGO Technic set. Technic sets are some of the largest sets that can be made. Obviously there's larger, but typically an average set for Technic is about 1,000 pieces. So this is a pretty cool set, and I was looking at the alternate models. So you have the option of building two models with these parts. You can't build them both at the same time unless you have obviously two copies of the set. But I like this tandem rotor helicopter too, so I may have to build both of those. You know, obviously not at the same time. But what we're going to do is build the main model that you see on the front of the box. So we got our seals broken. Let's go ahead and point this down so we can see what's in here. All right. So there is all the contents of the box. So we have a battery box that's loose in the box. We have 4 of these large rotor pieces that are loose in the box. You may notice that there's a black part, and then this is a dark gray. Well, this black part is a softer rubber. That way when this thing's spinning, if it happens to hit someone, it actually will not hurt too much. Actually, there's 2 more, so we have 6 of them. There's 2, 4, 5, 6 blades. All right, we have these loose flex axle pieces. We have an instruction book with an enormous sticker sheet. Look at the sticker sheet. It's actually larger than the instruction book. So luckily for us, they put this in its own bag, or else this could have potentially came all kinds of damaged. So, see how big that sticker sheet is compared to the instruction book. And the instruction book is one nice book. You can see it's kind of got that perfect bound end there. And then all of our bags are unnumbered. So basically every single one of these bags needs to be dumped out to build the set. And we also have a medium motor. This is a motorized set, so that's why it has a battery box and a motor. So we're going to be able to actually make these rotors and everything else move automatically. So what I'm going to do is open all these bags, sort all the parts, and we'll begin the build. Okay, we have everything dumped out, and you can kind of see beyond the camera view here that I have everything dumped out and sorted. So that's kind of the easiest way to build Technic sets, is to pre-sort everything. So we're jumping right into this build. We have this large panel. Now, one of the few things that I noticed unbagging all of the parts is that there is an absolute ton of these panels. Not just this shape, but just panels in general. And you'll notice as we go along the build that there's just a lot of them. And I don't want to say that we're going to use them all more towards the end, but I get a feeling that that's where the bulk of them will be used, just to form the body of the helicopter. All right, so we're attaching quite a few friction pins. Now we're going to grab another panel. Have another good amount of friction pins in here. So anyone new to Technic, just to kind of give you a rundown of what all these parts are. The black pins that you see that we're putting in here are called friction pins, which means that they grip onto whatever they're inserted into. And then these blue 3 long ones, they're the length of 3 Technic lift arms. They are also friction pins. They're just a little bit longer than the black ones. So when I say friction pins, that's what I'm referring to. And then these pieces here I refer to as lift arms. And then there's going to be an assortment of all other types of connectors. So it's kind of the fun part of Technic is seeing how all the different pieces are being used to make a model. So that's kind of what we've got so far. So now we're going to put 5 friction pins right here. This single 5 long lift arm right here. And then this white 15 long go all the way across here. So normally we build Technic from the inside out, and this one's kind of different because it looks like we're building part of the bodywork first. All right, this piece goes here. Lift arm goes there, and then we have our 3 long friction pin here. You may not notice some of these that I'm not pushing all the way in. Like this one, it could actually go in further, but the instructions call for it to not go in all the way. Same with this one right here. You can see it could actually go in further, but the instructions clearly show that this should not go all the way in yet. And this is why. So we have this orange panel that we're going to attach right here, and now we can push that in there, so that interlocks that, so I can give that a good tug. That's not coming off. So pay attention to the instructions if you're building Technic at home to make sure that you don't insert anything too far that you're not supposed to just yet. All right. This piece will slide right here. And we're going to put stickers on already. So we're definitely working on part of the body. Not quite sure which part yet. But look at this enormous sticker sheet. Luckily the stickers are numbered. So I'm looking for sticker number 12. Is right here. It shows this sticker right here. Now we have sticker number 8. This says heavy lift service. Sticker number 6. And sticker number 18. This one will go right here. Okay. So that's all the stickers on this portion. See, we have a good amount built. So moving on to the next little sub assembly. Have some axles on this axle joiner. quite a few of these little white pieces. It's basically a axle connector with a perpendicular pinhole. And I need these two pieces. One of these axle joiners. So it's an axle joiner that also has a pinhole in it. And these two axle joiners are just regular axle joiners, no pinholes. Okay, this piece will go not to go like that. How's this working? No, guess it will go there. Okay, so that's kind of interesting, the way that's lined up. And this piece attaches here. Not quite sure what this is, but we'll just go with it. So we have this piece. We'll attach that right there. Yeah, just making sure I put it on the right spot. All right, move that to the side. Now we have another one of these white panels, kind of similar to what we started with. It almost looks identical to how we started. That goes there. So here's another piece. We're just barely pushing it in. We're not pushing it all the way through yet. Another one of these white panels. Some friction pins on there. Piece goes there. Okay, so this goes here, and then we push this piece all the way in. That'll hold it in place. And this time we only have 3 friction pins here. Long lift arm holds all that together. Let's see here, I actually used the wrong piece here. So I need to remove this, switch these parts over. So the length of these lift arms is pretty critical. There's some that look, I mean, they all kind of look similar, but the only difference is the length of them. So if you notice here, this one is a little bit longer than the other one. And I noticed that I used the wrong one because I needed this one for here and there was no more left in my pile. Okay. Another one of these orange panels. Push that piece in. Okay, this piece slides in here. So that's good there. Turn this over. We have more stickers. Sticker number 9. Sticker 7. And sticker 13. All right. Now that piece goes there. So, looks like we've created 2 sides of the helicopter. We haven't created any internal guts yet. We have this lift arm here that will connect the 2 sides together, kind of make it a little more stable. I have another one up here. We'll kind of do the same thing. So you can see it kind of twists a little bit, but it's interlocked really, really well. So we'll move that to the side. Okay, we have these pieces. So many of these parts look very similar. You have to kind of make sure you get the right one. And 2 friction pins. Okay, so this is going to get this is half axle, half friction pin. 3 long axle. This piece goes here. And we have 2 of these pins with a pinhole. This lift arm will attach those 2 together. And on the underside here, we're going to put a 3 long friction pin all the way through. So that'll hold that together. And 1 more lift arm here. Bring our helicopter body back over. This piece slides in here, just like that. Okay, so we have these 2 function selector switches. And they're going to get the 2 axles with the little axle joiner piece. And then these slide in the top on these little black axle pieces. So you can see they kind of, it's like a switch. It switches back and forth. We'll put 2 of these 3 long lift arms right here. 2 axle joiners with the friction pin and axle combo piece. They both slide in here. That looks good. All right, we have micro panels. You can see these are tiny little panels. And basically on the outside we have this axle hole. So we're going to push each one of these in here, and then this 3 long friction pin that's been sticking out since kind of the early stages is pushed all the way up inside of that panel. So that's what I was saying, don't push stuff in until they ask for it. All right, so move that to the side. We're on to our next little sub build. And this looks like we're going to begin some of the internal guts of the, I guess, gearbox and workings. That goes there. 2 of these white thin lift arms. Attached to this 3 long axle, and then we have this yellow axle that goes through there with a red bushing there. A small 8-tooth gear on there. Let's see, 2 of these pieces with a 3 long axle. Come on. This will go here. And we take this axle with a stop, push it all the way through. Okay, so those will hold everything together, just like that. We have this piece here, friction pin here. Okay, so next is this worm gear with a long axle with a stop. I'll drop that worm gear in there and then thread this axle all the way through, just like this. And it shows this turned around. That gear on there, and then 2 half bushings. Remember not to push all these axles all the way tight. You can see there's a little bit of wiggle room in that gear. That's what we want, because as these start to turn, you don't want it to be too tight to where it doesn't turn. Alright, so let's see what we're showing here. Okay, so they're showing this axle is now being pushed in here. I was kind of wondering what it was showing on that instruction step. So we have that in there. Then it shows this turned. Let's see, let me turn this like that. Piece goes here. This part just kind of hangs right there. Turn this back around. All right. That piece goes there. Next is another connector with some more pieces like that, like this. So this axle has a stop, so we push that all the way through. Then it gets 2 half bushings, slid all the way on. Once again, try not to push them too tight. You want to make sure this still moves. By this black gear. Goes there. That attaches there, and then this piece slides in there. Okay, so it's a pretty complicated little gearbox here. So we have this next thin lift arm with the red axles. Slide this axle with a stop and a small gear. That goes there. Two more of these white axle connectors, another black thin lift arm. Now we have another one of the worm gears, but before I slide this axle all the way through, we have a little red bushing that goes there. Next we have these 2 blue thin lift arms. Those both slide on there. All right, and then we have a string. So this is kind of, I don't know, little Lego system-ish. It's actually a really, really thin string that we're gonna thread through this little hole. It's a big spindle for such a small string. And with the little flanges of the spindle being so big, it's actually kind of hard to make a tight knot. But I'll do my best. See, it's almost like you have to pull this string through so far just to make one single knot. Okay. And unfortunately, you do have to double knot this or else it'll slide right off. Come on, go through there. All right. So in addition to that, we're going to take this end, thread it through this little steering wheel piece, and then we have this hook that goes on the end. Hook part is a little bit easier to tie on here because it's smaller. That knot is so tiny, I don't think I'll be able to double knot it. You can see I just gave it one little tug and it completely came undone. So that's why you have to double knot it. Come on. Absolutely do not like the tying the strings on. I'm trying to concentrate to get it on here. Alright, got it. So, take the spindle element and wind the string up in it. Slide it on that axle, just like that. These two pieces will slide in here, like this. Put a couple pins on the top. Two more of these thin lift arms. Black thin lift arm here. That piece and that piece here. We have a minifigure stand and a jumper tile. And then this piece will go right there. All right. So I think this is a good stopping point. We've got a gearbox going. We've got a good amount of our body started. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any other parts. We're going to have multiple parts to build this large helicopter. So subscribing will make sure you don't miss any of those. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.